Tonight on Newswatch, state of emergency in Iraq as militants overrun the city of Mosul. Iraq's government looks to the U.S. for help. Plus, school of worship using Bible training and contemporary music to create powerful worship leaders. And out of jail and on the street, how this former inmate got back on his feet and his mission to help others. All this and much more tonight on Newswatch. A state of emergency in Iraq. Good evening, everyone. I'm Wendy Griffith. A major defeat for Iraq's government and a victory for Islamic insurgents. Militants overran Iraq's second largest city this morning. The parliament speaker says the terrorist groups threaten not only Iraq, but the whole Middle East. The prime minister is calling for a state of emergency, and he's asking the U.S. for help. Heather Sells has our top story tonight.
Iraqi government forces in Mosul have been fighting al-Qaeda insurgents for years, dating back to the Iraqi war. But now Islamic militants have overrun much of this city, and the security forces have collapsed.
They abandoned their arms, ammunition, and armored vehicles and their positions, leaving them behind to terrorists. They even left Mosul airport and some planes.
Mosul is a strategic prize for these insurgents who have been advancing in Syria as well as Iraq. Experts believe they plan to set up a military enclave straddling the border between the two countries. The assault in Mosul also shows just how Iraq has changed since American forces left 3 years ago. The depth of the blow can be seen in the latest move by the country's prime minister, who is now calling for a state of emergency, hoping that the greater powers will allow him to run the country for now.
We have to declare a comprehensive mobilization and the utmost alert in political, financial, and popular capabilities to defeat terrorism and bring life to normal in all areas occupied by terrorists.
On Sunday, car bombs exploded across the Iraqi capital, killing 4 and underscoring the sectarian violence that threatens the country's stability. Regaining Mosul remains a daunting challenge. A Sunni Muslim majority live here, many of whom are deeply embittered against al-Maliki, a Shiite, and his government. Heather Sells, CBN News.
Joining us now is Chief International Correspondent Gary Lane. Gary, what can you tell us about this terrorist group and its goals?
The Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, which is the area of Syria, Iraq, Jordan, and Israel. This group started about 10 years ago, Wendy, fighting American troops in Iraq. If you remember Fallujah and the Marines and the battle they had there with this group, but they shifted to Syria. They've made significant gains in Syria, mostly in the north and the eastern part of Syria, aligned with the al-Nusra group. They were at one time aligned with al-Qaeda, but even al-Qaeda says they're too extreme because they kill civilians. But this group is on the move in Iraq.
Gary, the U.S. lost 4,500 soldiers, and we've spent $2 trillion in Iraq.
Yes.
How could this happen?
Well, Wendy, I think it shows you that you can provide the most advanced weaponry, you can provide the training, but what do you do about someone's will if they don't have the will to fight? And as they were overwhelmed in Mosul today and this week, many of these Iraqi fighters laid down their weapons, they abandoned their uniforms, you could see them lying in the streets. They don't have the will to give their lives for al-Maliki and his government. They'd rather live.
What should America do right now to help?
Well, what can we do? We've already provided them with the weaponry that they've needed. They want more. They say, send us more. But, you know, on the internet today, you could see photos of the Chechen leader of the militia there, the Islamist militia, actually in a Humvee, an American-made Humvee. They also captured some helicopters at the airport. Now, can you imagine that? They captured these helicopters. I don't know that they know how to fly them, but that's chilling, isn't it?
It is.
So I don't think the Pentagon wants to send them more for them to capture.
Well, Gary, what can you tell us about Mosul and the Nineveh province?
Mosul is the second largest city in Iraq. It's been a hotbed for militant Islamic militants. The United States could never control that area during our 10-year war there. and now it's in the control of this Islamist group. But Mosul and Nineveh have been an area just north of Mosul. Nineveh, as you know from the Bible, that's where Jonah went after he refused to go and obey God on that, ended up in the belly of a big fish. But the Christians have settled there. Many of them have gone there. They've wanted a separate autonomous state there. But all of this is in question now as you have these Islamists controlling that area and on the move. We may see the Balkanization of Iraq and eventually Syria as well.
Gary, thanks so much for your insights. We appreciate it. Well, 5 American soldiers died in Afghanistan today in what appears to be a friendly fire incident. Special Operations Forces on patrol with Afghan troops in a southern province near Pakistan were ambushed by the Taliban. Under heavy fire, the team called for U.S. air support, but a miscommunication led to the bomb landing too close and killing the Americans and 1 Afghan soldier. It is the worst friendly fire accident in the 14-year Afghan war and comes just days after President Obama announced a drawdown of U.S. troops there. A growing danger of Islam in the UK. The British government has announced that schools will be required to teach British values after Islamists took over several schools. Dale Hurd has the story from London.
It's been dubbed Operation Trojan Horse, an alleged plot to turn British faith-based schools into Muslim training academies.
Individuals with a religious motivation have taken public money and basically created madrasas, basically created religiously motivated schools that have promoted intolerance.
And this at a time when Britain was already in an uproar over the explosion of Muslim halal food in the nation's food supply. And after revelations that several predominantly Muslim sex gangs around Britain were using English girls as sex slaves. Whether it's food or schools, Islam is advancing in Britain. Islamists want to conquer the United Kingdom. Anne-Marie Waters runs Sharia Watch UK.
We have around 100 Sharia courts in this country. We're the only Western country with a functioning Sharia network of Sharia tribunals and councils. They're dealing with marriages, with divorce, even with criminal matters. They're marrying, as I said, they're marrying children.
And in Birmingham, with a large Muslim population, authorities say Islamists were turning schools into centers of extremism. In one school, the Muslim call to prayer was broadcast across the playground, and non-Muslim teachers were forced out.
In the most serious cases, a culture of fear and intimidation has taken grip since the schools were last inspected.
Britain's head of education told Parliament this will not happen again.
Schools that are proven to have failed will be taken over, put under new leadership, and taken in a fresh, new direction.
That Muslims could take over several schools shows the growing influence of Islamic radicals in Britain. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
The House Armed Services Committee is investigating the Obama administration's exchange of 5 Taliban leaders for Sergeant Bowe Bergdahl's release. Committee members announced that move Monday following a meeting with a senior administration official. In that meeting, the administration showed lawmakers the 90-second proof of life video that showed a debilitated Bergdahl, but that did little to calm the anger on both sides of the political aisle.
I think it's safe to say on both the Republican and Democrat side, people were extremely disappointed. They were underwhelmed at what was put forward. And also I think there was a sense of anger that members of Congress didn't know about this.
A State Department spokesperson says the deal was not a secret or a surprise to Congress. Hillary Clinton is dismissing blame directed at her for the 2012 attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, Libya. 4 Americans, including Ambassador Chris Stevens, died in that attack. In an interview with ABC's Diane Sawyer, the former Secretary of State said the constant Republican criticism of her handling of the situation gives her greater incentive to seek the White House. She says Congress should be more focused on problems facing the country and the world. Sawyer asked Clinton if she could have done anything more personally to prevent the attack.
I'm not equipped to sit and look at blueprints to determine where the blast walls need to be or where the reinforcements need to be. I take responsibility, but I was not making security decisions.
Clinton says she wants travel and help in the midterm election and then will decide whether she will run for the White House. A gunman entered an Oregon high school this morning and fatally shot 1 student. The shooter was found dead a short time later. Authorities did not say whether he took his own life. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office says there were reports of shots fired at about 8 a.m. at Reynolds High School in Troutdale. The school was placed on lockdown and students were evacuated room by room. A teacher was also wounded in the attack, but his injuries are said to be non-life-threatening. Well, more than 600 unaccompanied migrant children are being sent to a military base in Oklahoma. Most of the children being sent to Fort Sill for temporary housing are from Central American countries. Oklahoma Congressman Tom Cole calls the plan to relocate the children a breakdown that gives incentives to illegal immigration. Arizona is also expecting hundreds of children this week. The state is already overwhelmed by approximately 700 kids staying in a warehouse. The number of unaccompanied minors who illegally enter the U.S. is expected to rise to 66,000 this year. More devastating revelations about the scandal surrounding wait times at VA hospitals around the nation. A nationwide audit found that more than 57,000 veterans have been waiting at least 90 days for their first appointment at a VA hospital, and 64,000 more never received an appointment after requesting one. Even worse, 13% of schedulers at more than 700 hospitals say they were told by their supervisors to falsify records to make patients' waits seem shorter. The audit is the first nationwide review of VA hospitals since the scandal surfaced. In a congressional hearing Tuesday night, a high-ranking VA official said there is a, quote, integrity issue among VA leaders and apologized to veterans and their families. Coming up, a Theology of Worship, the new program that blends Bible teaching and music to train worship leaders.
This is a national healthcare alert from the Health Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You could qualify for a pain-relieving knee brace at little or no cost to you. Get free delivery, and all the paperwork is handled by our accredited suppliers at no charge to you. If you're on Medicare and have knee pain, don't wait. You may qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost. Friendly agents are standing by 24/7 to help you. Call the Health Hotline right now for details toll-free. Our friendly representatives are standing by now to take your call. We also have other pain-relieving braces available for shoulder, ankle, and your back. You may be eligible to receive these items and more at little or no cost to you as well. Call right now for details toll-free.
Operators are standing by. Call 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143. Again, 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
The police officer in Salt Lake City who was placed on leave for reportedly refusing to work at a gay parade says he didn't actually refuse the assignment. The unnamed officer says he had only asked to be taken off the motor team that leads the parade. He says he didn't want to appear to be supporting gay pride because of his personal and religious beliefs. His attorney, Brett Rawson, says he never refused to work at the parade. The officer simply requested to be reassigned to a different duty there. Rawson says the police department defamed the officer when they made inaccurate comments about the situation. The Christian owner of a Colorado bakery has been ordered to take sensitivity training because he refused to bake a wedding cake for a gay couple. Jack Phillips, the owner of Masterpiece Cake Shop, was also told the bakery doesn't have a choice. It must make cakes for same-sex weddings if asked. The American Family Association says the sensitivity training violates religious freedom and is eerily similar to communist states. Phillips says same-sex marriage goes against his religious beliefs. Also, same-sex marriage is still illegal in Colorado. Still, for the next 2 years, Phillips will be forced to submit quarterly reports to the government, confirming he hasn't refused any couples based on sexual orientation. Music has a special place in delivering the gospel. That's why Grand Canyon University is starting a new program to train worship leaders. Bart Millard is the founder of the Christian contemporary band Mercy Me. He's also the director of the new Center for Worship Arts at GCU. He recently spoke with Charlene Aaron about this revolutionary new program.
Bart, this program combines spirituality and the arts as part of a bachelor's degree in ministry. Why is that so important?
Well, I think it's crucial to equip the student in any way possible to one, make them better at their craft. But I think that the worship leaders a lot of times are pigeonholed. If you have good hair and know 3 chords, you can have a job be a worship leader at a local church, and it's kind of a scary place to be for such a big calling. And so instead of some students avoiding college altogether because they feel called into music, or using college as a backup plan for when this may fail, it's like this novel idea of equipping them to go after their calling.
Well, what skills will students gain from this program?
For me, I guess the best way to put it is, I've been in Mercy for 20 years, and I was one of those that bypassed college because I wanted to be in a band. And there are things that I've learned over the last 20 years that if I would have known when I was 18 or 19 would have set me apart pretty quickly. And so that's what we want to do. Our biggest goal is to allow these students to find their purpose and to know their calling, and to say, look, we're not here to deter you to say, hey, be an accountant if it doesn't work out. Man, if you're called to do this, then we want to make you as strong as possible in what you're called to do.
And how will churches benefit from these new worship leaders?
We just want students that understand the word, and understand what the message is they're relaying. It's kind of I call it the 3-headed monster. The Center for Worship Arts is part fine arts, part business, but with an emphasis on theology. And so the bachelor's comes out of the theology department, which I think is crucial, because from experience, that may be one of the weakest parts of a worship leader is, there's the old joke that we're too busy carrying our guitar to carry our Bible. And that's that's a sad place to be. And we want to change that. We don't want a pastor to look at a worship leader as if they're an intern and not a big deal. You're talking about the role of ushering in the body of Christ through worship to prepare them to hear the word of God being preached. It sounds like a pretty lofty job, and we want it to be taken seriously. And we want these students to come out not only equipped to do it, but with the confidence and the respect to know this is a huge calling. I think it's Spurgeon that said, when God calls you to preach or God calls you to serve, never stoop to be a king. This is a massive calling. We want them to take it seriously, but then also be incredibly passionate about what they're called to do.
Very important indeed. Bart Millard, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Love that band. Well, up next, a former felon faces the harsh reality of life on the outside. See how this ex-offender gets a fresh start.
Stop! Living with hair loss, that is. Losing your hair is no fun, and no one wants to be bald, but there is hope.
Getting my hair back was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I'm happy with the way I look now. I'm very excited about my hair.
I feel beautiful.
I love my hair.
Hair Club offers all proven hair loss solutions backed by our commitment to satisfaction guarantee. If you're not 100% satisfied with the solution you choose, Hair Club will apply the purchase price to another proven hair loss solution or transplant more hair at no charge.
And it was the best thing I've ever done.
It looks good on me.
Call in the next 5 minutes to get your free brochure at no obligation. It will tell you everything you need to know about your hair loss problem, and it's free if you call now.
I am more pleased than what I had even imagined.
I at least look, I would say, 5 years younger.
I'm 52, and I look better now than I did when I was in my 40s.
I feel great.
And that's not all. The first 100 people who call will also receive $250 off any hair loss solution from Hair Club. Call now.
This is a national healthcare alert from the Health Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You could qualify for a pain-relieving knee brace at little or no cost to you. Get free delivery, and all the paperwork is handled by our accredited suppliers at no charge to you. If you are on Medicare and have knee pain, don't wait. You may qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost. Friendly agents are standing by 24/7 to help you. Call the health hotline right now for details toll-free. Our friendly representatives are standing by now to take your call. We also have other pain-relieving braces available for shoulder, ankle, and your back. You may be eligible to receive these items and more at little or no cost to you as well. Call right now for details toll-free.
Operators are standing by. Call 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143. Again, 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143.
A new report says increasing numbers of prison inmates nationwide are not getting the supervision and help they need after release. The report released by the Pew Charitable Trust says former inmates need more help to lead crime-free lives once they leave prison. In Florida, Maine, and Massachusetts, more than 40% of released inmates did not have any supervision in 2012. Finding a job can be one of the hardest things for a lot of ex-cons. That's why one man has made it his mission to help former felons start their own businesses. Charlene Aaron brings us this story in tonight's Focus Report.
Sean Collins Harris once dreamed of traveling the world as a motivational speaker. In college, that all changed when he got caught up with the wrong crowd and started selling drugs.
I wanted to make money. At the same time, I wanted to make quick money.
That desire eventually landed him behind bars.
I was sentenced to 5 years in the state penitentiary for possession with intent to distribute more than 5 pounds of marijuana while in possession of a firearm.
After serving his time, he ran into a familiar problem, his record.
You got to put food on the table. You got to provide for a household. How are you going to handle these responsibilities when people are afraid of you because you're a convicted felon? They've been told not to hire convicted felons.
Dr. Tokes Edo sees it all too often. After taking part in his church's prison ministry, Dr. Edo noticed a trend among prisoners re-entering society.
As it got close to the time of the men's release, a lot of them became apprehensive. I found out that a lot of them didn't want to go back to the same old neighborhoods. They didn't want to go back to the same guys they hung out with.
When you get so many doors closed in your face, what is there left to do? Like, what can you do? I had a child, I have a wife, so it was either one or two things. Go back to what it is that I knew how to do, because trust me, that same old gang was there.
For that reason, Dr. Edo created Leadership Call, an organization helping remove barriers for ex-offenders across Virginia.
Unfortunately, most of these men have been given a bad rap. They've already paid their dues by going to prison. They don't have to keep on paying when they get out.
Leadership Call helps participants tear down negative mindsets while discovering their strengths and abilities.
All we're trying to do is find out what it is that God has deposited in each individual and help them tap into that to become self-governed.
One method is by helping ex-offenders start their own businesses. Dr. Edo uses his experience as a consultant and defense contractor to get the ball rolling.
I'm a free market capitalist. I'm a firm believer in business. I mean, it's huge. Gosh, if there's one thing that works well, it's a free market. So I've seen that work tremendously well with the men. We have about an 85% rate of success.
Sean became a Christian while in prison, then went on to be one of the program's success stories.
I borrowed a lawnmower from my grandfather, went and borrowed a pressure washer from my wife's aunt. Now I own 3 pressure washers. Now I own 7 lawnmowers, trailers, and equipment, and run my own lawn care business. I have subcontractors under me that do roofing and all type of handyman services.
29-year-old gang member Mike Taylor faced an 8-year prison sentence for robbery. Before giving his life to Christ, Taylor felt he had a death wish after seeing so many friends killed in the streets.
I was ready for whatever. If I would have got shot and died right then I wouldn't have cared. And if I woke up tomorrow, I wouldn't have cared.
Now he cares about the plans for his new T-shirt business and nonprofit organization, thanks to the program's biblical principles and discipleship. That will help him to do good in the communities where he once did so much bad.
I'm not worried about the money. I'm just worried about, making a difference when I leave here. I just want to leave a great legacy that's going to last future generations.
Dr. Edo says when inmates complete their 12-month participation in Leadership Call, the outcome is renewed hope and transformed lives.
It's sad we recycle everything. The only thing we don't recycle is human capital. I mean, think about it. Created in God's image, but we dump it, we trash it, and just, let it go. So in a way, I'm in the recycling business, but it's awesome to see when they get it and they run with a vision.
I'm just giving God the glory for everything that he's doing and just standing in awe and can't wait to see what he's going to do next.
Charlene Aaron, CBN News.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need, just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions, just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card, just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
Hello? Is this thing on? Hey, kids, do you love games? And do you love discovering things? Well, do ya?
Then you're gonna love this. It's the new free Superbook Kids Bible app. You can play games, watch videos, find answers to your questions, and a whole lot more. The new Superbook Kids Bible app. Free downloads available on iTunes and Google Play now.
And finally, CBN's daily Hindi language 700 Club program recently reached an audience high of 230,000. The show airs on a major national network in India. That episode dealt with issues of hopelessness and abuse. This year, the Prayer Center has handled 4,000 phone calls and 1,600 text messages every month. One viewer sent a text that read, "My parents were estranged for the past 3 years. Since we began watching the show and joined a prayer group, the Lord has blessed us. My parents are talking to each other, and I am recovering from my illness." That's wonderful news. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Newswatch. Remember, you can email us your comments and questions at newswatch@cbn.com. We hope you'll join us again next time. Bye-bye.